In my previous review of Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers for the NES, I talked about three types of platformers and action platformers. First one being the type of game which hates you, hates everything about you, your car, your hair, and wants to wants to kill you. I am going to today review a game in that category. The game is Ninja Gaiden 2, The Dark Sword of Chaos for the Nintendo Entertainment System. This game is incredibly hard. This game is mind-snappingly, controller-smashingly, blood pressure spikingly hard. It's meant to be that way. Would be, I guess, as Itagaki, who did the current gen games in the series, would put it. No, it's meant to be that way. It's a game for hardcore gamers. Just right off the bat, this is not a game for your grandma, your mother, your kid's sister, or well, not kids, but anyone who considers themselves casual, who wants a game that they can beat. This is a game that will beat you. In Soviet Russia, Ninja Gaiden beats you. Best way of describing this game. Now, after going into some length about how hard this game is, a few notes about the good points about this game. The Ninja Gaiden games, I'm not saying they've always had a good story, but it's always been a well-told story. It's one of the first games that's really had cutscenes in it. I can't think of any other games before the 16-bit generation, aside from Vice Project Doom, which told their story through cutscenes like this. Final Fantasy kind of did this, but it was differently told. But this is the first one where it's been the beginning, middle, end, linear progression of a story with animated cutscenes, with basically only cutscenes in general. Most of the games on the NES, with the exception of a few role-playing games, didn't actually have the cutscene. And that's probably one of the biggest innovations that Ninja Gaiden has brought to gaming. This game also includes a few new power-ups that weren't in the previous game in the series. In particular, the most notable introduction is the Ninja Clone, if you want to call it Shadow Clone, if you call it that. And it's a good power-up. It really works well for dealing with bosses in the game. If you have the right combination of power-ups with your Shadow Clone character or whatever, you can take care of a lot of bosses a little more easily. The problem is this. Like with Castlevania, there are some bosses where if you have the wrong ult weapon, or if you have the wrong power-ups in general, or anything like that, if you just do anything wrong, you will die over and over and over again and become very well accustomed to the game over screen. Ninja Gaiden is like that. You will die over and over and over again. You will end up seeing the game over screen. You will continue. You will end up seeing many of these cutscenes, these wonderfully animated cutscenes that you saw before, over and over and over again. Yes, you can skip them, but when you see those cutscenes for the 15th time, and you come to realize that for today you are not going to get past this level in the game unless you're really lucky, you will want to take your cartridge out of your NES and put a power drill through it, a la the Angry Video Game Nerd. This game is hard. And some retrophiles will say, "Oh, this is the way real games were, back when gamers were real gamers, blah 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 blah." If anyone tells you that in person, shove your boot up their ass. Or at least extract their head from their ass and then shove your foot up their ass, because that's not good game design. Believe it or not, good game design is a game which you can beat in one sitting without, possibly with dying, but it's a game you can beat in one sitting. You may have to do lots of practice for it, but it can be done. Yes, there are people who do Ninja Gaiden speed runs, etc., etc., etc. But for a game like this, where you don't have a password system, a la Mega Man, or anything like that, it's a game that's, in theory, supposed to be beaten in one sitting. It's the only way to beat it in one beat it is to do it in one sitting, unless you're playing on an emulator of some kind, whether it's like a PC emulator, or if it's using emulation through the virtual console and you're having it save your progress when you come back. It's a game that's designed to be played in one sitting. And if you're not able to play the game in one sitting, as far as beat the game in one sitting, or in a situation where you end up having to run over the same ground over and over again, you'll go nuts. It's basically trial and error gameplay at its worst. I mean, the game has gotten a lot of positive buzz, and it's remembered very well for the excellent cutscenes and the fact that it's a ninja game. But the game's a pain in the ass. Let's say it's a royal pain in the ass. I have beaten this game in the past, but I had to use a game genie. And I still also had to use save states as well as using an emulator because of cheap deaths from getting knocked off platforms. It's a pain in the ass game. And I'm not the biggest fan of trial and error gameplay in this fashion. I grew up on this console generation. It's not a situation where I'm some Johnny-come-lately to the retro games and I'm being panty waste or whatever about how games are too hard. This game is incredibly insanely hard, and that's not necessarily a good thing. If you want to play this game, or if you're a masochist, or if you just want to say, oh, I played Ninja Gaiden 2, and say that you played it on a console and not be lying, I say, okay, pick this up then. It's a game where if you want to just go around, beat up some bad guys as a ninja or what have you, it's worth picking up under those circumstances. It's not absolutely terrible, but the difficulty is not something which I'd consider a point in the game's favor. If you're looking for a game that you feel that you can beat, and you can beat without having to play it over and over again and go through trial and error over a course of weeks, if not months, then this would be a decent game for you to pick up. But otherwise, if you're looking for a ninja game you get to beat stuff up, that you figure you might be able to beat, and that you can, or in general, that looks cool, or what have you. Actually, to be honest, I'd recommend picking up one of the either the 360 Ninja Gaiden games or Ninja Gaiden Sigma games. To be honest, that's probably the better way to go. I don't say the best way to go, but the Ninja Gaiden games are hard. It's quarter monster difficulty on a system which you don't have to put in quarters to play. And so that pretty much says everything right there. It's a game that's out to yoink all the money out of your pockets, except for the fact that you don't actually have to put money in it. That's all my real points there. So, this is Alexander Case. I want to thank you for listening and watching this review, and I'll have another game review next week. Thank you.